Hello and welcome to Spirit Touched. We're going to talk about roots, and this one is hot off the presses. Matthew 13:3 through 6. Those roots form as we read and study the Word. The more we do, the deeper they grow, and the harder it is for Satan to come along and yank them out. Now let's look at Job, chapter 1, 6 through 12 in the KJV. The gardener we recently talked about had already planted deep roots in Job. He was richly blessed. Verse 3. God knew Job would not give in to Satan. The real lesson in this account is God was showing Satan, you can't have or take away what's mine. John 18:9. Jesus was planting deep roots in those disciples. Satan thought he was smart enough to steal Job away from God, but his plan backfired. See Luke 4, 1 through 12. In this account, Satan even thought he could stop the ministry of Messiah before it began. It didn't work. Then in chapter 23, 44 through 46, Satan thought he at last had finally won. Wrong again. Chapter 24 begins 3 days later, where we see the victory of Satan via the resurrection. A final defeat comes in Revelation 27 through 10 in the KJV. Once we are rooted into God's kingdom, nothing or no one can pluck us out. John 10, 20 and 29. Those roots need watering. One way we do that is by blessing others. They also get watered when others bless us. They need sunshine. That comes when God blesses us and when He answers us. There are good roots and bad ones. It all depends on what you feed them and fertilize them with. If you don't feed, water, and fertilize them, they will just die. The plant withers away. And the plant withers away. You also need to keep the bugs away from them. We have also talked about abiding in the vine of Jesus. When we do, He's our taproot that keeps us strong. His words of truth are what fertilize us with His wisdom. Having a good relationship with the gardener keeps us grounded so that it's easier to resist worldly temptations like Jesus did. Luke 4:4 and verse 8 and verse 12. What is written on the tablet of your heart cannot be erased. Proverbs 7, 1 through 3. Where you put your roots is your choice. Do you want to be rooted in the world or in the kingdom of God? America is at a crossroads. We need to make that same decision. My choice is to stay rooted in God's kingdom. If roots don't get what they need to grow, then the plant will shrivel up and die. Let's stay rooted in God's soil and allow Him to finish what He started. He knows what's best, and that's what He always does. Our roots are in God, not in politics or politicians. heaven will be monarchy, but we will be co-rulers with the king. Revolution 22:5. When you accept Jesus, you are grafted into his family tree so that you can be rooted to him. Romans 11:17 through 24. If you are not already, then get grafted and rooted into him. Once you get grafted into the kingdom, spend time with and in spend time out in the garden with the Son, Hosea 14:5, so that he can water you with his dew, allowing you to become fruitful. As the taproot, he is the anchor of the church and its support beam. His word becomes our nourishment, allowing us to bloom into the beautiful flowers he created us to be. Botanists have tried to copy God's plants. They don't understand that he doesn't make exact copies of anything he creates. Why? Because he is a big fan of variety in his plants and his children. Always remember, you are an original, so don't even try to be a copy, and you are beautiful just the way you are. You may send your prayer request to heanswerstwo@gmail.com.